Right here on the Afia Sports Show, the home of football and home of sports generally. I'm here, your Prince of Football, Emeka Madoke, aka Femelo. And I'm not doing this alone today. I have my co-host, my wonderful co-host, Blessed Zeke. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, pleasure always to
we have a whole lot on our fixture for you today. And we're starting off with the Metro, as we normally do right here on Afia TV. And we're going to be starting off with the NPFL Match Week 4. There are key fixtures coming up this match week 4, and some teams got some positive results, like our Enugu Rangers, who got their first win in the match week 3 fixture. And I want to just get some of your thoughts there, but before we get to that, there's some talks about the general secretary of the NFF, Sanusi. He debunked some of the communications that were brought out, saying they had some accusations against DeSers and all that. We are going on to also talk about the NPFL in total. You have the Afcon as well to discuss. It's just 100 days to go to Morocco to see the setup, the build-up for the Afcon this year, December to January 2025, 2026. We're going to also touch a bit about the Premier League and some other leagues around Europe. So let's start off with NPFL. We saw how, let's starting from the Metro, right? Starting with Enugu Rangers. We saw how Enugu Rangers had 2 shaky starts, then they got the first win. I want to get your thoughts about their fixture so far and how they've played out this season up until match week 4.
Yeah, good morning once again. Pleasure to be here. Nice to see you are in good health as always, as you should be. For me, Enugu Rangers have been underwhelming so far. We saw how the season ended for them last year. Very poor defense of their title. One of the worst performances from them in recent seasons. But it's good that they got their win this week, this last match day. It shows that the players are finally, at least it's a confidence booster. It's a morale booster. Getting your first win is not ideal to get it in the third or fourth match. It's not what you want. You want to hit the ground running in the first game. But as long as you have finally gotten that win in the belt, I think it will relieve a little bit of the pressure in the squad, in the camp, among the players and among the coaching staff.
All right, that's well said there. And with the international break as well that just concluded, we saw some players go up to the national teams from various leagues, and quite a few injuries around here and there. Thank God that not too many injuries on the Nigerian front, because not too many were called from the local league. So that means the league can still continue as usual.
Yeah.
We're not going to have to suffer with too many injuries and too many wolves right there.
True.
But moving on to the next topic, and that's the Afcon. That's coming up in 100 days. We're very excited around here in Africa. It's our continent's cup. We're excited for 100 days to go to Morocco. And it's always a pleasure to put up your national team shirt and play for your country. So this is going to be in Morocco this time around. I want to ask your thoughts now with our performances from this international journey. How do you see Nigeria faring in this Afcon, building up for it?
I don't want us to even... there's a lot to talk about the Nigerian Super Eagles. It's been a very, very horrid period for the Super Eagles from the final that they lost against Ivory Coast this time. I think last year against Ivory Coast in January in the last Nations Cup. The team has not been perfect. The team hasn't been itself. We have changed manager 3 times, from Jose Peseiro to I think Finidi George, yes, to Augustine Guavon, and now we are with our current manager Eric Chell. So it tells you that there has not been a lot of stability with the team so far. The team has been lacking an identity. We don't know what we want to do. We don't know whether we're a possession-based team or we're a counter-attacking team. Peseiro tried to play defensive tactics in the Nations Cup, playing 5-man defense to, limit the space that opposition teams had would have, attack Nigeria. Because normally Nigeria is not a 4-man defense team, whereby we play that 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. That's what Nigeria has always been. So he tried that. He helped him to redefine. I wasn't an advocate of that formation, but I was like, as long as it's getting results, you go with it. Unfortunately, we didn't seal the deal. And from there, our problems have just compounded and keep on compounding. And now we have seen how horrible our World Cup qualification is. Our destiny is no longer in our fate. all of a sudden Nigerians have started becoming what we don't like to be, people that, carry calculators up and down just because of, our team.
I mean, it's not totally out of our fate. We still have a shot there. All we need to do is just do our job and win our 2 games.
This is copium. You are trying to cope. Let's be honest. I don't like to, beat around the bush. You have to be honest about everything. I don't think you don't believe that the Super Eagles.
I still have a glimmer of hope. I mean,
you can.
Where there is will, when there's a way, there is still hope for life, I guess.
Coming back to the Nations Cup that we have again, that is coming up in Morocco. For me, I don't feel any optimism about it. I personally have been shouting. You have heard me say this in personal, private quarters. I want to say it out here. I believe we should have won the Nations Cup. It would have given the boys the morale, the confidence. We had already started the World Cup qualifiers with 2 draws, I think. They would have won this group with the confidence and the aura and the personality of all of our players are top players in Europe. Even if they are not in the top 5 leagues, they are in European leagues. Yes. And they are performing to a very high standard. So what matters is the identity. So the identity is not there. I just don't, I'm not blessed. I'm not giving a whole lot of support for the Nations Cup, but we still believe we are trying to be patriotic, and we know we have quality players. It's just, there's no identity, there's no structure, there's no belief.
Speaking about some of those quality players, I mean, we have some injury shouts there. Olaina, who picked up a knock against South Africa. We have some shouts for Ndidi as well. I mean, it's looking troublesome when you see injuries start to come up at these stages. But I mean, these are things that they've ruled out to not be too serious. So hopefully they are back in action for both clubs and country in soon nearest future. But I mean, building up for the Afcon is something where every nation on the African continent has to prepare themselves mentally and physically for. You don't just go there with a lackluster performance. You have to give performances leading up to the tournament.
Okay, let me also interject into this. We're going to the Afcon. Like I said, I believed this tournament that we lost, we have missed an opportunity. You know how horrible Ghana was in that tournament. Let's come from the banter side. We are not yet in the banter side fans, for those of you listening to us on the radio. But let's come from the banter side. Ghana was horrible. They were not talking. Go online, anywhere, Facebook, X, all the social media apps, they were quiet. And we redefined that we are the most dominant team. I think we only considered 2 goals or 1 in the whole tournament. We're the best team. Lookman was flying. He should have had the golden boot, not the Equatorial Guinea player. But for me, I was like, we lost the opportunity. We should have won that. That should have been our 4th title. Going into this Nations Cup, Morocco has qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah, they have qualified
for the World Cup. They are coming. They had a decent tournament in Ivory Coast. I think it was quarterfinal. It was respectable. It wasn't what they wanted, but they topped their group in their own group stage. Yeah. But this is a football federation that knows what they want. I think everything still comes back. It's a mixture, like both our NFF, our players, our coaches. I just don't see an identity. I don't know whether I don't want to be a prophet of doom for the fans out there listening, but you have to be realistic.
Okay, so even coming from the banter side, like you wanted to come from initially, I mean, we still see countries like Ghana still topping their group. We still see countries like Ivory Coast. We still see countries like Cameroon in second place trying to top. We see Senegal. We see some of these other big African nations getting themselves into the all-important position. And right now, as it stands, Nigeria is third in their group, but with a chance of still qualifying. Where, like I said, there's still a chance. But now it depends on if Nigeria have the wit and grit to go into those 2 games, beat Lesotho.
When you say you have a chance, so I don't like interjection, but it's the truth. It is a conversation, and
sure.
It's not in your hands. It's 2-way for it's not an enlarged World Cup format with 46 teams, I think. So I think 48 teams. 48 teams, yeah. So there's now more opportunities for African teams.
Yeah, we have
from
9
5
slots,
to 9.
9 slots
so
now.
The group winners are already assured. Yes. Then I think there are a number of 4 second base teams.
Actually, it's 5 group automatic winners. That's from,
No, I don't know the group. Like the groups are more than 5.
The groups
But
are more than 5. So
yeah.
all the group leaders qualify.
Then the second.
Then the second best place, 4 of the first
will play against
playoffs.
each other.
Yes, then
and they will still play another playoff against other
against the
play. Yeah,
against
yeah.
the Asian
So
side, against the.
how are you sure that Nigeria will even be one of the 4 second?
I mean,
And still come and win inside the playoff.
when it comes to the situation of Nigeria qualifying, it's always something like you said. We have to pull out our calculators.
I've stopped that.
Inshallah, yeah. That's how it's always been in Nigeria. But I mean, there's still hope there, and the hope there is there are still 3 points that are to be deducted from South Africa here. There are still 3 points to be won.
But all those 3 points to be deducted is at the end. The time FIFA that does that is when the qualification is done.
Sure, good and
you
fine.
Understand?
Good and fine.
And we are not the one to benefit from that. You understand?
Yeah, Benin Republic stand as it is.
I know it's the people that play. Yeah, it's Benin that is.
Yeah, they stand a better chance to
Uh-huh.
benefit from that. But like I said, you do your job against Lesotho. When South Africa and Benin play, hope for the best. If it doesn't go your way, okay, you pray that at least a second place can for size. And if you finish in second place, you check if you're among the 4 best teams. If you are, you do your best now to improve your lackluster performances. Because, I mean, looking at these international journeys that we've been going on, these World Cup qualifiers, you have to build up from these performances if you want to get anything good to prove that you're going to be a strong dominant side in the Afcon. So it's from here you start projecting whether you are a favorite to win the next Afcon. I mean, Nigeria went all the way to the finals. Sadly, they couldn't win it. Now, this should be as a revenge story. We went there, we couldn't do it. Kind of a Moses story. You reach the promised land at the end. Okay, this time around, you enter it and you win the fight.
Okay. Let me also debunk that. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to help the fans have a little bit of hope, glimmer of sunlight, at the end of a dark tunnel, the rainbow is over there. Yeah. I understand, but let's hit reality and real life into it. You're going to North Africa, Morocco. They are not going to let you, you know how it is in African football with the shenanigans that come up, when it comes to this.
But there's no guarantee that Morocco might reach the final.
They are much more, comfortable in their own skin. They know what they are doing. They are the only African team to have reached a semi-final in the last World Cup. I really don't doubt that. Yeah. I don't have any hope for Nigeria going. The World Cup speaks. The table doesn't lie. That's football. You know this.
Yeah.
Football doesn't, hide you from. If you are bad, you are bad. If you are good, you are good. There's no in between with football. So for me, it's even better that they don't even go. But let's hope for the best.
Well, I mean, hope for the best, as you say, Zeke. But I mean, you can't keep on just being pessimistic. You have to have a little bit of hope, glimmer. That's what football products for you.
True.
You have to have hope to the very end.
Yeah.
When the hope is taken away from you, then you can now say, okay, or at least we gave it a good fight. We did this, we did that. At least you can take positives from your game if you actually tried your best to get yourself to where you're supposed to be. If in the end you fail to get there, I mean, the neutrals and your home fans would give you applause and say that, okay, you fought to the very end.
True.
You did this, you did that. True. It didn't work out. Maybe another time you get that kind of thing. But I mean, you have to do your own.
Yeah.
Do your part. Let the fans do their part. Let the federation do their part as well.
Have you noticed, it's a question to you, have you observed having observed the recent international window and other international windows, is there any idea of how Nigeria will set up? Do you have any, inkling of belief? Let's remove the hope. Factually, do you see any hope? Do you see any opportunity for Nigeria to win? Of course, like you said, football throws up possibilities, but you have what's your probability or your percentage for success in this?
I mean, it's now on the onus of the coach and the players.
Yeah, if you are to be a man to bet it out.
Realistic here now. It's now on the players and the coach to look at what is in front of them. There's a mountain in front of them. Now, do we climb this mountain and conquer it, or do we just sit back and allow it to subdue us? We have to sit back, analyze the game, go for what your target is, and achieve it. I mean, the World Cup is what every nation wants to play. You have to do your best. If you don't end up there, you tried your best at least. What the fans are saying is try
it will. I don't think Nigerian fans will be happy if Nigeria doesn't go to World Cup for the second time in a row.
Obviously, we're not consecutively. That's
I don't think so.
Consecutive World Cups, we've not made it.
And also remember, this one will even be more painful because Africa has more slots, there are more nations.
Exactly.
Uzbekistan is qualifying for their first World Cup. Like,
I mean, you see countries like Chad on possibility of finishing first. You see possibilities of even Congo finishing first in their group.
I don't think all these things still boils down to how this. We don't. This is sports. We don't want to go into politics. You know, the way football is run and stuff like that.
We're in September right now. We just have to keep tabs with our players around their clubs in this September. Hopefully, Europe, when it's time for the qualifiers again, we call back our players and they're in full strength and full form. They are not injured. They're already match fit. We now give it our all. You have to fight. That's just the key emphasis here. You have to fight for what you need to do. Win your 2 games. Don't look at any other person. Win your 2 games. Draw will not suffice anymore. You have to win your 2 games and hope for the best.
True.
Because that's how football works. You do your best, then hope for the best. Because, I mean, you've seen it even in league formats. You can't do everything for everybody. You have to do your own part and hope results go elsewhere in your favor.
Yeah.
So that's how it is in football. I was just saying, where there's still life, you give them the shout. There's still hope. First place is still off. I mean, there's still 3 points to be deducted from South Africa. Anything can happen.
How close are we to South Africa? 6, 7?
I mean, do your part. There are 6.
Have we done our part?
That's what I'm saying. You win your 2 games now. That means you're leaving yourself on a 17 point, which is what
we should have won our 2 games this international window.
We should have won our 2 games.
We should have even won our 2 games the last international window.
Sure, we should have done that.
But football doesn't go like that.
Exactly.
It's what you play that matters.
At least you got yourself a point against South Africa. It would have been catastrophe if you didn't get that 1 point. That 1 point is what is keeping us in control.
In a way, we shouldn't have even been given that goal because I've seen South Africans talking on X, on Facebook. They are like, the almighty Super Eagles needed a handball goal. It's just
I mean, it happens
now.
in football. Some decisions go your way, some decisions don't go your way.
Yeah, of course.
And you have to be a good sportsman. If it goes your way, good and fine. If it doesn't go your way, you accept the game as it went. It's still a game of football. It's still competitive. Everything can't go your way all the time. I mean, if it was to go your way all the way, would Nigeria be first on the log? I mean, you have to do your own part. Where you've messed up your own part, you look for how to make amends and get yourself back. So that's what I'm saying. Win the 2 games, you have your shot. All you have to do is hope for a good result against South Africa and Benin, because that's the crucial game that will decide this group. If it's a draw that suffices there, Nigeria have a greater shout. Because if you win our 2 games and they draw, deducting that 3 points from South Africa, which they say will come at the end of the qualifiers, that leaves Nigeria.
There's a possibility, yes, of course. There's a possibility.
So you have to do your own part. That's the point.
You know why I speak in the tone I speak in is because with the quality and the standards these players play at in Europe, you know. Like I said, it's a mixture. It's not only on the players, the issues that the Nigerian football
from
is
the
facing.
federation.
It's also from the federation. Yeah, everybody has to share a blame.
Yeah,
you know, in a way, us fans, we also have a blame, part of the blame to share with the way we also attack our players. You know, different performances, and you know, sometimes these players have mental issues. You know. They are human beings. So
like look, man,
everybody
been through in the past month or so.
So for me, I think Nigerian football, there needs to be a gradual rethinking of how things are being run. You know, from the logistics, from the awareness that they create based on all these little things that I've been talking about. There needs to be better preparation before every international window. All our federation members, the top executives, they need to go to Europe too. Even the players that are born overseas, all the foreign-based, the diaspora players that have the opportunity, the likes of the younger Ezes. You know, we need to, improve our recruitment. Yeah,
who's still eligible to play for Nigeria if he opts to play for Nigeria. Eventually.
So they need to. There's a lot to be done.
Yeah, a lot has to be done, starting from the federation down to the coaches and the players as well. They need to get themselves what they need to do mentally and physically to get themselves where they need to be. But we're going to go on a quick break right now. Stay tuned for more on Afia Sports Show right after this break. All right, you're welcome back here on the Afia Sports Show, the home of sports. I'm your host for today, Emeka Madoke, aka Femelo, your priest of football, and I'm still here with Blessed Zeke. And we're going to be diving straight into the Flying Eagles, the Under-20 World Cup is starting. And I mean, our list for the young boys are out there, and let's get the assets on screen so that the viewers can get to see who is going to be representing this nation in the Under-20 World Cup.
Certainly.
But I mean, it's not too bad to see that our Under-20 boys have been performing very well in their qualifiers and in their international journeys. Some will say maybe better than the senior boys themselves. But I just want to get your thoughts going into this Under-20 World Cup. You know, they have won on World Cup before. I want to get your thoughts. What's the mental preparation that they have to do getting themselves into this World Cup?
Well, for me, we have seen the boys out there. The names are out. I just want us to have a little bit of positive news, you know, in Nigerian football. In general, it's not been that good since the Super Falcons won the WAFCON. You know, it's been just bad news upon bad news, you know, and also losing a great man like the late coach, chairman, Christian Chukwu. So we need some positivity from the boys. I also want, if these boys do well, you know, if they do well, for there to be an opportunity for them to, you know, grow into the
and break into the first
into 11. The Super Eagles team. National teams for around the world do it.
Yes,
you know, Nigeria, we need to inculcate such opportunities, to create such platforms for our youth, so that they can believe that from under 17, under 15, under 17, under 20 to the big boys, they can play there. You know, some of these boys have the ambition to be professional players, but it is the empowerment, the opportunity, the rewards that they can see that, oh, this person did it. Like how Mikel came from the under 20 in 2005, him and Taiwo, from that team that played against Lionel Messi and Sergio Aguero in 2005. So we need to start doing that again, and it starts with this young boy. I wish them well. I hope that their preparation has been adequate so that they won't go and fail, you know, behind schedule, or they will not be match fit to match their opponents.
I mean, well said. I mean, like you said, this has to be a way of rewarding the boys. If they do well, they should earn a merit to actually climb up the ladders and eventually play for the Super Eagles. I mean, you see it with all the big giants around the world. You see it in Argentina, you see it in France, you see it in Spain. So why not here in Africa? Why not here in Nigeria?
Yeah,
we can at least incorporate that.
Even South Africa has started, been doing it under Hugo Bros. So if you notice, they have been phasing out some of their legends, not legend, but some of their older experienced players, people like Tembazoane. They are bringing in younger players, fitter players from their PSL and whatnot. So the more you do it, you create continuity, you create the love for the national team, the love for the passion for the JC, for the fans, for the nation. That's what is needed.
All right, just before we take our jet over to Europe, let's finish up here in Nigeria and the NPFL Match Week 4, the fixtures and the table. We'll have to take a look at what's going on right here in our local league. The NPFL resumes tomorrow. It's a lot of blockbuster matches. I mean, Enugu Rangers will be in action again tomorrow, but we're waiting shortly for the fixtures to come up there. Let's see how the fixture. Thank you. So Bender Insurance will be playing today by 4 p.m. They'll be hosting Niger Tornadoes. Tomorrow's lock fixture game starts with Plateau United hosting the defending champions, Remo Stars. Abia Warriors host Katsina United. Kano Pillars host their Enugu Rangers. And I mean, that's one to watch because this fixture last season wasn't too good for Rangers. Let's see what they have to give. Let's see whether they're going to build up from this win that they had in Match Week 3, go guns blazing out there away from home and get points. Warri Wolves will be looking to have a good form, continue their good form of run against Kwara United. Whereas United will be hosting Eyimba, another rental side there. We have Rivers United hosting 3SC. That's another key fixture there because, I mean, this fixture was interesting last season, and it actually planned out how the top 3 ended. Ikorodu boys, our Oga boys, firing still from last season, and I mean they're still red hot. They're still red hot. 1 or 2 key games that they didn't go their way, but I mean they can get back to action. They're against Barrow FC and Kun Khalifat, who have actually had a good game, good run of games since they came up to the NPFL. And I mean, whatever is happening there is good, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from some of these promoted sides like Warri Wolves and Kun Khalifat in particular. No disrespect to Barrow FC, they had one good game, had some 2 shaky starts after that. Then I mean, we have Wiki Torres who will be playing away from Nassau United. That's the last game there. But I want to ask you, I love doing these predictions.
I would like to see our tables. The fans also would like to see the tables.
Okay. Just before I get your predictions, let's get to the table right there.
Personally for me, I'm really looking forward to the game between Plateau United and Remo Stars because
sorry to cut you short. They're just looking at the table there, the defending champions, showing why they're defending champions, and they are first with 7 points. Following them in hardcore is one of the newly promoted boys, Wiki Torres. Who is surprised?
Wiki Torres are not. They are new boys right now, but they are one of famous names in Nigeria.
Famous names.
Premier League, so football league. So
I mean, getting themselves right back to where they belong in the olden days. I mean, but looking at that table, Remo Stars first, Wiki Torres second, Barca United third, Warri Wolves another promoter side. It looks like all the promoter sides are having a party right now on the table.
Yeah, I like I said, I want to see how Remo Stars does. I want to see if they can continue this form. It's very difficult for teams to defend the Nigerian Premier League, but they are going about it in the right way. 2 wins and a draw. Rangers, of course, they are finally gotten their first win, 4 out of 9 points. It's also good. I want to see if they can. I want to see if they can win away from home.
All right, just get into the rest of the table before we get to your predictions now. Casino United in 5th place, Niger Tornadoes in 6th, Economic Warriors in 7th, Rivers United in 8th place, Eimba, the top team in the Oriental side so far, in 9th place. Where they finished last season, are you seeing a consistency there, or just a little banter to that side? Akwa United in 10th place, Enugu Rangers getting themselves out of 19th place into 11th place with that win. That was very crucial for them, but they need to get themselves higher up the table. We have Nasser United in 12th place, we have Ikorodu City, Oga Boys in 13th place, Abia Boys in 14th place, Shooting Stars in 15th, Benin Insurance in 16th place, Baru FC begin the relegation waters there. Not too surprising there. Kun Khalifat in 19th place, just behind Kano Pillars and Basement Boys.
You said you were enjoying what Kun Khalifat are doing. How? They are in relegation.
Well, I mean, they're in the relegation waters, but they've been putting up good fights. I mean, yes, they had 2 games that didn't go their way. They were winning some of those games, then ended up losing. They drew just the 1 game against the defending champion. But I mean, it's good to see that at least they're putting up a fight.
Yeah, true. If they only had a decent game against the defending champions, yeah, maybe, when you're defending champion, you have a target at your back. So maybe that might have been why they raised their game. But the next 2 games, you've seen their level. They have lost back-to-back game. If you are winning and you are losing, you later on lose the game. It says that there's a weak mentality there. There's a fragility there whereby you are not able to see the game through. So they have to also go back to the drawing board, the coaches and the players as well, because they have seen how difficult this league is. The Nigerian Premier League is not a joke. You have to be very, very on point to take points. I
mean, you've said it well. I mean, and now we have to climb on that jet straight to Europe. And someone who took a trip, but not by plane, but by bus, if you can say, just across downtown. He was sacked by Tottenham Hotspur, and now he finds himself as the new manager of Nottingham Forest.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened, my brother. But I mean, it's good to see Angie back in the Premier League, and I really love to see this announcement by the club there. We are quite disappointed that Nuno was sacked by the hierarchy there, but better things, I guess, better days, you move on to better things, if that's what the club wants to say. But Angie is the new manager in the helm there, and I'm guessing he's ready to go guns blazing against his former rivals there, Arsenal.
The thing about Ange Postecoglou is the man has been blockbuster like since he came into the Premier League 2 seasons ago.
Cinematic stuff from him, actually.
Very, very. He told you guys, I always win things.
In my second season.
He said, are you not entertained, guys? Like, what more do you want? There's going to be a lot more fireworks to come with Nottingham Forest. Unfortunately, sorry for Nuno Espirito Santo. He took Nottingham Forest from relegation scraps to Europe. They were there or thereabouts in the Champions League spot until I think the last 7-8 games of last season, where
they had shaky.
Yeah, where they started drawing. They drew against Leicester. I think after
lost to Chelsea.
After drawing to Leicester City, that was relegated last season 2-2. I think they were winning, and came and drew that game. I think the wheels came off, and that statement he made just before this international break about there not being enough dialogue, the relationship changing between him and Evangelos Marinakis, the owner of Nottingham Forest. It tells you that there was a little bit of touchiness there. When you come out and attack your president just like that, you are looking for trouble.
Many neutrals and many of the Nottingham Forest player fans, they expected Nuno to be out of the job because, I mean, like you said, when you go attacking the presidency of the club, your stay at the club is quite shaky.
And someone like Marinakis doesn't look like someone that takes to criticism well, even publicly, privately.
Yeah.
I don't think you even enjoy it in the public. So Nuno was just walking on thin ice.
Well, thin ice, maybe he'll slide himself into a better job. Who knows?
But that's the beautiful thing about Premier League. You know, all of a sudden coming back from this international break, we're having the former Tottenham manager that won their first trophy in 17 years coming back, going away inside the same North London to the heated rivals. You can't, script a better storyline.
You can't write a better script in the Premier League, and every season we get different beautiful scripts. And now it's time to focus on Angie, what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I still quote Angie from his press conference. Yes, I said I always win something in my second season, but I also do win things in my first season as well. And he quoted his days at Celtic and all that, and he had a good laugh there. We're really hoping to see what Angie can produce at Nottingham Forest, because we have been watching Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, and we can see that they've grown to become a strong side. They've been giving it to the top half. They've been giving it to the top traditional six. They've been causing them troubles. They've been giving them headaches.
The thing for me, with Ange's appointment, there's no doubt he's been a very, very successful manager wherever he has been, whether in the Japanese league or with Celtic, and of course with Tottenham. Yeah, it was difficult last season with the injuries, with the amount of defeats that they had.
But he still got them a European trophy.
But he won a European trophy. For a fact, their European results and their Premier League results were totally night and day. So it tells you that he knows what he can adapt his philosophy. Nuno has set up these boys to be defensively strong. The two centre-backs, Milenkovic and Murillo, covered by two defensive midfielders. They have a structure whereby they don't need to go into those wide spaces that Ange likes to do.
You still have their captain Yates, who is also defensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Like, Nuno's structure. It's going to be interesting to see how Ange goes about. Will he go gung-ho the way he was with...
does he build up from what Nuno set up? Or does he change the setup
does he just
entirely?
Adapt? Is he going to be flexible? I think we might actually see a flexible Nuno, flexible Ange, I beg your pardon, not the Ange that was stubborn at Tottenham. That's what I believe. But, with working under Evangelos Marinakis, it's just like a time bomb. Anything
could happen.
Anything can happen. But it's why we fans we love the Premier League.
Another talking point from that game is an old boy of Arsenal who will be probably making his debut in that game. I'm talking about Alexander Zinchenko. Zinchenko will be eligible to play against Arsenal. It was a permanent transfer.
Was it?
It was a permanent transfer. So yeah, he is eligible to.
But I don't think he will play just immediately.
I mean,
he might come in for the couple of minutes towards the end.
Maybe not from the starting 11, but you could see him make an appearance from the bench. I mean, you could see Ange up for that kind of decision during the course of the game.
Of course.
Who knows? He could even shock us starting. But I mean, the Premier League is back after the whole international break, and there's some key fixtures coming up this weekend. We do have Brentford against Chelsea. We do have the Manchester Derby. We have West Ham, who will be hosting Spurs. We have okay, thank you, dear production team. Arsenal hosts Nottingham Forest in the first game. That's by 12:30, just less than an hour to go. We have Bournemouth hosting Brighton. We have Crystal Palace, who are one of the undefeated teams in the Premier League so far after 3 games. Let's see what they can do. So after 4 games, let's see what they can do. Now, getting into the match week 4, we have Everton against Aston Villa. Great month for Grealish, the man who everybody wrote off, and I guess he's adapting to good lives in Everton.
Of course.
Yeah, Fulham host Leeds. The Newcastle would be buzzing with their new signings. They would like to throw Watamade and Johan Wissa into the mix early on, with the other man, Isak, leaving the camp, going to Liverpool. We have West Ham hosting Spurs, like I mentioned, Brentford hosting Chelsea. That's the last game for today at 8 p.m. Tomorrow's games, just 2 fixtures. Burnley hosts Liverpool. And the all-important game of the weekend, the Manchester Derby. No Ederson, no Onana. How is it going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting Manchester derby, the 197th Manchester derby of all time. Because both sides do not have a guaranteed first 11 goalkeeper, first choice goalkeeper. We've seen how they protected transfer of Onana and Ederson. Both of them are now out of the
Who
ball.
actually faced themselves in the Turkish league, Fenerbahce against Trabzonspor.
Yeah, they will. But
So who could have written a better script?
You know, that's football for you. Football always does that.
Yeah.
But now we have a proven world-class goalkeeper. He's no Ederson that is going to be passing out of the back, you know, throwing 50-yard passes. He's going to be good at what he's going to be good at, stopping the ball.
I mean, this is a Champions League winner and the likes of Donnarumma.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A Donnarumma like that, you know, a European Championship winner with Italy, of course. And a young boy that just was playing in the Division 2 with his former team, Sami Lamans, that Manchester United has also bought. Will he be the number one? Ruben Amorim said equivocally, no. It will be Alte Bayendia. But Bayendia is shaky. Bayendia is
still yet to be decided whether it's Bayendia or what.
No, he said it on his press conference yesterday that it is going to be Alte because this guy is coming into a tough league, a
tough
new
league for the first time,
and stuff like that. I don't want to give him too much pressure because putting him in this game immediately can sink or, you know, he can sink or swim. But for Donnarumma, he has to start. You can't sign a goalkeeper like that and not start him. He has to start.
We have seen Guardiola shock.
You don't think he will start?
I mean, neutrals expect him to start. Man City fans expect him to start.
Don't you believe that he will
I
start?
believe he should start. But I mean, Guardiola is someone who we've known over the years to shock us with many ways and many things. He could just opt to Trafford.
Yeah.
I mean...
But I don't think... Because Trafford didn't start the season well. That is why Donnarumma is in the game.
I believe 100% that Donnarumma will come in as the starting goalkeeper here.
Sure.
But I mean, let's not keep our minds oblivious to the fact that he is Pep Guardiola and he can still shock us with anything. I mean, we've seen it times without number in big games where you expect a steady 11. Then all of a sudden you're seeing names that you won't expect coming into the starting level, but they actually perform and they actually give good performances throughout the course of the game. So let's see what happens out there. And I think it's Etihad tomorrow. Let's see whether Man City can defend the honor of Etihad. It's been shaky this season.
You know, the next 3 games for City coming into from the international break are very, very crucial. They're going to play this game against Manchester, the Champions League game that I can't remember the team
Napoli.
Right now. I think it's Napoli and Arsenal next week. These
tough
3
run
weeks,
of games.
These 3 weeks are going to guarantee or determine if City are going to be in the title race this season or not.
Either in the Champions League or in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, and they do have injury shouts. The likes of Ryan Chekwi is out.
Everybody has injury right now.
I know, but I mean, these are crucial. Like, these are most of the
you say Czech is crucial. He's not. He's somebody that has not.
When I mean crucial, I mean these are most of the signings that they made this summer. I mean, Chekwi out. You have Ryan Atnuri out as well. Mamouche picking up that injury with Egypt. So I mean, that not much
and Mamouche
options.
has been. He is the one I would call a loss because he and Haaland have these.
There's still questions around the fitness of Phil Foden there. Jeremy Doku hasn't really adapted well to this season's format.
No matter whoever is out, what we know is City will always produce an 11 with world-class players in it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, let's see what goes out there in match week 4. Well, I want to show your predictions right there as the assets come back on screen.
Or for which game for the Manchester?
Pick your key games and your predictions for me.
I think that Ange game is just going to be emotional. It's going to be feisty. You won't be shocked if Nottingham Forest win Arsenal.
You won't be shocked if he ends a draw.
You won't also be shocked if he ends a draw. But I just have a sneaky feeling that Mikel Arteta's boys might just get the 3 points, to wash away the defeat. I don't know about scoreline, maybe a 2-1.
Okay, so you're hanging on
2-1. No, it's a win. I said they will win the game, but I don't know the scoreline. They can decide to get a 4-1 or whatever, but I think they'll get the win to shake away the loss against Liverpool before the international break. I think that the game between Everton and Aston Villa, Grealish playing his team, his former team, his boyhood team, and him being the Premier League Player of the Month,
Of August,
four assists.
4 crucial assists in the month of August.
That game is going to be bonkers. Goals. Aston Villa haven't started well, but Unai Emery has always found a way. So that game is also a game to look forward to. Then you have to look at the West Ham and Spurs game. Remember that this is a derby.
Yeah, it's a London derby.
Even Brentford and Chelsea is a derby. But West Ham hits Spurs and Chelsea. They don't. These are their favorite games of the season. So, and also Kudus is going back there.
Yeah,
to his
emotional return to the London stadium.
There are a lot of script line, but I think the Spurs will win the game. I think Crystal Palace might win or draw. It's just going to be. It's Premier League.
All right.
We can't wait.
The big game of the weekend. Manchester Derby.
I'm on the fence on that one. What do you think about that one?
Well, let me just quickly run through my predictions for the whole fixture. I mean, I do see it being edged in the favor of Arsenal. Maybe a 3-2 win. I don't see it one-sided. I see it as a tightly contested affair there. I believe Andrew will want to give it his all there, even if he falls short in that game. Bournemouth, Brighton should end the draw. These two teams have not really been solid so far at the back. I think maybe it could end the draw. Who knows, goalless or maybe full of goals. Crystal Palace should do the job against Sunderland. They've been solid so far. One of the undefeated teams in the Premier League so far. I believe with the acquisition of Christensen Uche and some other key signings there, they should be solid enough in that game. No disrespect to Sunderland, who have been brilliant, I have to say. They have 6 points so far on the table.
From their two home wins.
Yeah, so I mean, that's cool. That's good.
Yeah.
They have hitting life in Premier League again well, and I hope they can sustain this because I do want them to stay up in the Premier League. Everton, Aston Villa, emotional game, like you said, for Grealish there. But I do edge it in the side of Everton there at home in the new stadium, the new feeling of the whole grounds, the whole emotions there. I give it to the Everton side there. Newcastle should do the job. No disrespect to Wolves. And I know we have our boy there, Tolu Arokodare, who probably will be making his debut there. Maybe most likely there will be a draw. But I do see the Magpies getting a good result there. West Ham, Tottenham should do the job on the day. Emotional return for Kudus. I mean, the West Ham fans are not really in good spirits having him coming back, but he should clear that aside and do the job and get Tottenham where they need to be. Brentford, Chelsea. Brentford is not the same Brentford of last season. You've seen a lot of outgoings. I mean, you've seen the likes of Dean Hoyson going to... Dean Hoyson was for Bournemouth. So you've seen the likes of some of the crew defenders leaving as well. Midfielders leaving.
Norgard going,
Wissa,
they have lost goals. They have lost their manager.
Yeah. So
we don't know what their new manager keeps.
So the setup is quite uncertain what they might do there. And Chelsea have been solid. One of the undefeated teams in the league so far. Chelsea should be solid.
Do you think Chelsea are going to challenge for the title this season? Or do you think there are still a couple of signings
I have 3
behind?
title challengers this season. Arsenal, Liverpool and Chelsea. No disrespect to City, but City haven't shown me the conviction.
No, it's okay.
They haven't shown me the conviction that they are ready to challenge for this title yet. But those are the 3 things that I see going all the way out for.
I think it's a decent shout.
And those are the top 3 currently right now.
Okay.
So the many games there, Burnley, Liverpool. No disrespect to Burnley, but I do see this as a straightforward win for the defending champions, Liverpool.
Might not be straightforward, but
I mean, this should be a win for
because Scott Parker's team has not lost in 24 games at home.
Yeah,
Liverpool are a totally different beast right now, but I think it will be difficult.
Should get the job on the day. I mean, with the acquisition of Isak, I know they'll be boiling to start him off from the beginning, have him start playing with Salah and maybe Ekitike down the flanks. Who knows the setup there? But I believe that should be a win for Liverpool. The all-important Manchester derby. I think I want to hang on the fence with you there because these two sides have not really. We need to know. The two sides haven't really been convincing so far.
We need to know about your Manchester prediction.
I mean,
everybody is on the fence.
It's 3 points out of.
I think why everybody seems to be on the fence for this particular Manchester derby is because both Manchester teams are not in decent
in good form,
run of form. Although in derbies,
form goes out the window and class comes into play.
But right now, there are still a lot of unknowns about them. We don't know whether Pep Guardiola is still up for the fight. We still don't understand what Ruben Amorim is trying to, do in Manchester. And of course, the goalkeeper position.
I believe if I'm not to hang on the fence here, I'll just outrightly give it a draw.
Okay.
I don't see any side convincingly getting the 3 points here. I mean, City on 3 points, Manchester United on 4 points. So the two teams haven't really started life to Premier League this season very well. And I mean, it's the onus on Amorim and on our guy Pep Guardiola to get. I like calling him our guy because I really fancy the work of Pep Guardiola. But from recent games building from last season, you've seen how he's had quite a shaky performance with City, and this season it has started off that way. The injury shouts as well. I mean, let's see how Pep Guardiola can get this team gelled and see if they can get themselves back to challenging for the title.
Yeah.
I want to get your final thoughts on who is going to be a talent. You asked me who is going to challenge. Who are your own challengers for the title this season?
I replied.
You're
when
concurring
you
with
said
me?
I said it seems
You don't
that we are
see
similar.
maybe a Tottenham having a shout eventually. You don't see maybe a City having a shout.
Let's watch, but I think what you said.
Maybe even a United. Raise eyebrows.
We have the SerieA, Inter Milan
Yeah.
versus Juventus, the first DerbyItalia. How do you see that going?
That's another feisty fixture to look out for this weekend. And the first DerbyItalia, as you said.
Yeah, in SerieA, because it's not only Premier League that we have. There are La Liga coming up.
Juve versus Inter Milan. That's one of the key games around Europe. And I mean, in recent years, Inter have been the more dominant side.
Yeah.
But don't discredit this Juventus side.
You won't say Inter have been the dominant side because there have been games that Juventus have won.
Yeah, I know
there have
games,
been.
but
There was a 4-4 last season as well. That was
Get
crazy.
me right. When I mean dominance, I mean not just
Winning the league.
game. I mean winning the league
yeah,
and
of
their
course.
performances in Europe as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a key game to watch. Let's see what Inter can do away from home. Let's see what the Juventus.
You remember?
boys-
Remember that Juventus, Inter also lost before the international break, and
Yeah.
Juventus have won their first 2 games.
Yeah.
Same with Roma and the defending champions Napoli. I think SerieA has been the most pound for pound entertaining league.
And the thing about
in-
Serie A is that every season you see different teams shouting out for the league.
That's what I'm saying. It has been pound for pound the most interesting.
This season maybe it's
entertaining.
AC Milan and Inter. Maybe you have an Atalanta in the back zone. trying to
Atalanta has always been there.
You have a Juventus shouting, you have an Inter, you have Roma coming to shout and jumping. Then you have Udinese at some point were challenging for the title last season before they adjusted back
Udinese
to.
can never be.
I mean, at the beginning, early days, as they say, they were shouting for the league early days. But as football will have it, you get yourself where you deserve to be with your performances, and they found themselves in the mid-table. But I mean, it's time for us to wrap up this show.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining me today, Zeke.
Always
It's
a
been
pleasure.
an enthralling match here with you, having to sit down here and discuss football, discuss what has to happen, and the Afcon. 100 days to go. Will we be booking our tickets to Morocco to do wonders, or will we just be backbenchers in the Afcon? Who knows? It's been a pleasure with you.
Yeah, pleasure to do this once again.
Thank you. I remain your host, Emeka Madoke, your priest of football, aka Femelo, saying goodbye. Stay tuned for more next Monday on Afia TV. Goodbye.